Archangel Michael warns, in 1 hour, someone will shock you with a life-changing surprise. Don't ignore God's warning. Listen to me, beloved soul, because the hour is already moving toward you, and the sands of the unseen clock are falling faster than you think. I am Archangel Michael, and I am speaking through the veil with a trembling urgency, because something has been set in motion around your life, something heaven has watched with a fierce and protective eye, something that is only moments away from reaching you. In 1 hour, yes, 1 hour from the moment these words reach your spirit, someone will bring a shock that carries the weight of destiny, and you must not ignore this warning. You must not turn away, you must not doubt, you must not silence that small voice inside you that is already stirring, because heaven has been pushing and pulling and shaking the atmosphere around you to make sure you do not miss what is coming. I come with divine authority, not as a whisper but as a command from the Most High, because the spiritual realms have seen how close you've come to giving up, how close you've come to shutting the door on your own miracles, how close you've come to letting fatigue and disappointment convince you that nothing new was coming. But something is coming. Something sudden. Something that will jolt your spirit awake, like lightning striking the deepest part of your soul. Someone is being moved toward you, guided, pushed, pressed by forces they don't even understand, and whatever they bring will turn a page in your story so sharply that you will feel the shift in your bones. Do not take these words lightly. Heaven does not speak with drama for entertainment. Heaven speaks like this because urgency is necessary. Because you have been under attack, under pressure, under confusion, and you've begun to question the divine sequence unfolding around you. You've begun to believe that delays are denials, and that silence means abandonment. But it doesn't. I need you to hear me. Silence is preparation. Delay is alignment. And what you thought was a closed season was actually the moment the heavens were gathering the storm of blessings that is now about to break open above you. In 1 hour, a presence will brush against your life, whether through a message, a call, an encounter, a sign, or an unexpected shift. It will arrive in a way that feels too strange, too timely, too precise to be a coincidence. And when it does, your spirit will recognize it. Your heart will jolt. Your breath will pause. Your energy will shift. Because your soul already knows who has been coming toward you, silently, slowly, secretly guided by the divine toward the exact moment you are living in right now. You've felt the tension building. You've sensed something approaching, like the air before a storm, thick, heavy, alive. You've woken up on certain days with a weight you couldn't explain. You've had sudden flashes of intuition. You've had dreams that didn't make sense at the time. You've had random thoughts of certain people without reason. You've felt bursts of spiritual pressure, sudden goosebumps, strange timings, repeated numbers, shifting emotions, waves of nostalgia, waves of anticipation, waves of spiritual trembling. This was not imagination. This was not anxiety. This was not randomness. This was heaven preparing you. And now the moment has ripened. But listen, because I must warn you. Every blessing that arrives with divine precision also awakens forces that do not want you to receive it. That is why you've been tired lately, why you've felt strange emotional swings, why certain people have pulled away, why certain situations have felt unstable. Heaven has been rearranging things, and not everyone around you was meant to stay in the radius of your blessing. Some were removed. Some revealed themselves. Some disconnected. Some irritated your spirit because your soul already knew they could not go with you where you're about to rise. When the surprise arrives, this life-changing moment that will touch your path within the hour, you must respond with clarity, not fear. With awareness, not doubt. With courage, not hesitation. Because if you retreat into your old patterns, if you panic, if you close your heart the way you have done in the past, you may delay what was meant to leap you forward. And heaven does not want that. I do not want that. I stand as your defender, your messenger, your guardian, but I cannot force your hand. You must choose to step into the moment when the divine knock comes. You've been waiting for something bigger than a blessing. You've been waiting for a sign that confirms heaven sees you. You've been waiting for an intervention that breaks the monotony of your suffering. You've been waiting for proof that you're not wandering blindly in this world, unseen and unheard. And because you have endured longer than most would, because you have carried wounds deeper than you speak about, because you have awakened, fallen, awakened again, broken, rebuilt, and kept going, heaven has shifted something for you. The person coming toward you, whether someone from your past, someone new, someone unexpected, or someone who has been circling your energy without stepping forward, is carrying a message coded with destiny. They are not coming to play with your emotions. They are not coming to distract you. They are coming because the divine timetable has activated their role in your journey. They may not understand why they suddenly feel pulled toward you. They may not know why they couldn't stop thinking about you today. They may not realize why they feel an urgency to reach out. But heaven does. I do. And I am telling you that this moment has been divinely engineered. There is something important you need to know. This surprise will not come dressed in the packaging you expect. It may not be dramatic. It may not be loud. It may not be glamorous. But the spiritual weight behind it will be undeniable. It could be a confession, a revelation, a warning, an opportunity, an apology, a chance, a truth, a shift, a door, a message that changes everything you assumed about what was possible for you. And because of that, the enemy has been trying to cloud your judgment, to isolate you, to exhaust you into numbness, to make you question your own intuition. To make you believe you're imagining the signs. To make you think nothing good could come this close to you. But heaven says otherwise. And I am here because the spiritual warfare around your breakthrough is peaking at this exact moment. Do you think it's a coincidence that you're reading this now? Do you think it's an accident that you were drawn here at the precise hour heaven needed your attention? Do you think it's random that your spirit is awake while this message moves through you like a wave of truth you didn't know you were starving for? No. There are no accidents when heaven is involved. You were guided. You were positioned. You were called by name. That feeling you have right now, that tug in your chest, that heat in your palms, that pressure in your stomach, that strange familiarity in these words, is spiritual confirmation. Your soul recognizes what your mind is still trying to process. But I must tell you something crucial. When the surprise arrives, it will challenge you. It will demand your presence. It will require your discernment. And it will trigger the parts of you that have been afraid to hope again. Be aware of this. Do not shut down. Do not retreat. Do not second-guess the divine sequence. The moment will be uncomfortable because it is powerful. Nothing that transforms destiny feels casual when it arrives. There are people assigned to your next chapter. People heaven has been preparing in silence. People whose paths will intersect with yours at the exact moment of divine timing. And the one moving toward you within the hour carries the first spark, like the first drop of rain before the flood of blessings. Your ancestors have been watching. Your guides have been whispering. I have been fighting on your behalf in realms you cannot see. And God has been aligning everything with a precision you do not yet understand. You must stay awake. You must stay open. You must stay aware. The enemy wants you distracted. Heaven wants you ready. The enemy wants you fearful. Heaven wants you receptive. The enemy wants you doubtful. Heaven wants you aligned. Listen to me, what is coming is not small. This is not a coincidence. This is not a random moment. This is not a passing interaction. This is a turning point. And when heaven creates a turning point, it doesn't look like a choice, it looks like destiny showing up unannounced. Type, Jesus, set my heart ablaze for you, if you're hungry for more of Him. Your energy is shifting already. Your intuition is vibrating. Your spirit senses what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. You are being prepared because what approaches is sacred. This is your hour of visitation. Your hour of alignment. Your hour of divine interruption. Do not ignore the signs. Do not dismiss the nudge. Do not silence your inner knowing. Because the divine clock is ticking, and the moment is approaching faster than you realize. Before this hour completes its circle around you, you must understand the magnitude of what heaven is orchestrating, because I, Archangel Michael, am watching forces move around your life unlike anything you've seen in a long time. The spiritual atmosphere around you is shifting so intensely that even your body has been reacting, your heart beating faster at random moments, your mind drifting into strange clarity, your emotions rising and falling for no obvious reason. These are not accidents. These are not coincidences. These are signals from the divine realm that something is drawing closer to you, something that needs your awareness, something that has been sealed with your name on it long before you even knew what you were praying for. The person who is about to step into your path within this window of time has been wrestling with their own internal battles, pulled by invisible hands, pushed by a force they do not fully understand. Heaven has been nudging their spirit, whispering to their intuition, stirring their dreams, softening their heart, sharpening their mind, aligning their steps, all to bring them right to you. They might not even know why they feel this sudden urgency. They may not know why they woke up today with a sense of unfinished business. They may not understand why they've been thinking of you or feeling drawn toward a conversation, a confession, a gesture, or a truth they've been avoiding. But the divine realm understands. And it is because their role in your life has reached its activation point. There are seasons when heaven prepares you in silence, and then there are seasons when heaven prepares someone else to reach you. You've been through the first season already, the tears, the confusion, the waiting, the unanswered questions, the moments you whispered to God for clarity and received only stillness. You begged for signs. You begged for direction. You begged for meaning in the chaos. And though you could not see it, heaven had already begun arranging this moment. You see, divine timing does not operate the way human minds expect. Humans want immediacy, but heaven works with precision. Heaven waits until every thread is woven, every heart is softened, every distraction is removed, every enemy exposed, every intention purified. If the moment had come earlier, you would not have been ready, and the person coming toward you would not have been prepared. You would have misunderstood it, mishandled it, or ran from it. So heaven waited until the exact hour when your spirit would be awake enough to hear, strong enough to handle, and discerning enough to recognize what was being placed in your path. But listen carefully, because the most dangerous moment in any divine intervention is the moment right before the breakthrough. That is when fear tries to grip you. That is when doubt whispers its poison. That is when old wounds resurface. That is when shadows of the past try to convince you that nothing has changed. That is when the enemy's voice becomes louder, trying to confuse your intuition, trying to make you second-guess the spiritual signals you're receiving. This is why heaven speaks with urgency now. Because you are standing in a thin place, the veil between the spiritual and physical realms is nearly transparent around you. And because of that, you may have felt spiritually overstimulated, emotionally raw, mentally scattered. It is not weakness. It is spiritual sensitivity. You are feeling the shift because the shift is real. And now I must tell you a truth that will shake you. The person coming toward you is not coming only for themselves. They are coming because your destiny needs this moment. You have reached a point in your timeline where isolation is no longer alignment. You have reached a moment where the next piece of your story requires connection, revelation, or collaboration. The divine realm is sending them because your path cannot continue in the same direction without their presence triggering a transformation. This surprise you are about to receive is not a small interruption, it is a divine recalibration. And I know your heart is afraid of surprises. I know your spirit is tired of sudden changes. I know your soul has been wounded by unexpected storms before. But this time the shock is not meant to break you, it is meant to bless you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to shift you into a higher alignment with your calling, your relationships, your purpose, and your next level of abundance. But you must be ready, because one detail you do not know yet is this: the surprise will come wrapped in vulnerability. It might be a truth someone was afraid to speak. It might be an apology someone held back for months or years. It might be an opportunity someone was waiting to offer at the right moment. It might be an emotional confession. It might be a revelation about something you never expected to hear. It might be a warning. It might be a door opening in a direction you thought was closed forever. Whatever form it comes in, it will challenge your instinct to retreat into old patterns. When it happens, your mind may try to protect you by shutting down, by assuming the worst, by expecting disappointment. But you cannot let that happen. You cannot let fear sabotage a moment that heaven has fought to deliver to you. You must breathe. You must stay present. You must listen with your spirit and not your wounds. Because I tell you this again with divine authority, the one who is being sent to you is carrying something you need: clarity, closure, connection, opportunity, truth, direction, alignment. It will not be random. It will not be empty. It will not be meaningless. It will have weight. It will have purpose. It will have divine fingerprints all over it. And listen, because this is important. Not everyone will understand the magnitude of this moment. Not everyone in your circle is meant to witness what heaven is unfolding. That is why some relationships dissolved recently. That is why some people pulled away. That is why you felt abandoned, misunderstood, or disconnected. Heaven was removing noise from your field so you could hear what is coming clearly. Some were removed because their presence would have interfered with your discernment. Some were removed because their influence would have poisoned your perspective. Some were removed because they carried jealousy or insecurity that would have tried to dim your spiritual awareness. Some were removed because they were never meant to see what is about to happen in your life. Heaven does not allow the wrong eyes to witness the right blessings. You have been protected more than you realize. You have been isolated for divine preservation, not punishment. This next moment is sacred, and heaven will not allow anyone unprepared to interfere with it. You may feel emotional as you hear these words. You may feel pressure rising in your chest. You may feel heat on your skin or a tremor in your energy. This is because your spirit is catching up to the truth your mind is hearing. There is a resonance happening inside you, a recognition. You already know that something has been building. You already know that the timing feels too sharp. You already know that the air around your life feels electric. Your intuition has been trying to tell you what heaven is now confirming. And now I must reveal something even deeper. The shock that is coming will trigger both a blessing and a test. The blessing is what it brings. The test is how you respond. Heaven will measure your readiness not by how loudly you pray, but by how calmly you receive. Not by how fast you react, but by how wisely you observe. Not by how much you fear, but by how much you trust. Your heart will want to rush. Your mind will want to resist. Your past will want to interfere. But you must anchor yourself in spiritual awareness. You must breathe. You must listen. You must allow the moment to unfold without forcing it or fleeing from it. I must also warn you, the person coming toward you is nervous, too. They have been battling their own doubts, their own delays, their own fears. They are not coming to harm. They are coming because their spirit was pulled toward you with such force that resisting it would have caused spiritual consequence for them. They may stumble through their words. They may hesitate. They may reveal more than they intended or less than they planned. They may be emotional. They may be overwhelmed by the intensity of the moment because their heart has been aching for release. Do not judge their delivery. Look for their sincerity. Do not judge their tone. Listen for their truth. Do not judge their timing. Recognize the divine orchestration behind it. Heaven does not send messengers in perfect packaging. Heaven sends them in perfect timing. And now the timing is here. Say, "Your will, not mine, Lord," if your soul is surrendered completely to Him. The energy around you is shifting faster than your mind can interpret. You may feel restless, distracted, unable to focus, or strangely alert. These are signs. Your spirit is preparing. The hour is approaching. And once this shock enters your life, nothing will feel the same again, not because everything will change instantly, but because you will change. Your awareness will deepen. Your discernment will sharpen. Your faith will strengthen. Your confidence will rise. You will begin to trust the unseen again, not because you were told to, but because you will witness a divine moment manifest right in front of you. And after this moment, more will follow. This is only the first ripple. The first crack in the dam. the first signal that heaven has activated your next chapter. But this first moment is crucial because it reopens your spirit to receive the flow that has been waiting behind spiritual blockages and emotional wounds. Your life is not stuck. Your path is not stagnant. Your prayers are not ignored. You are in transition. You are in divine motion. And the surprise arriving soon is the confirmation you have been begging for without even realizing how desperately you needed it. Listen closely, beloved soul, because as this hour draws nearer to its threshold, the spiritual weight around your life is intensifying in ways you may not consciously recognize, but your soul has already begun to react. I, Archangel Michael, am standing in the unseen realms with my sword drawn, not in anger but in protection, because what is about to unfold in your life has awakened forces both for you and against you. When a major shift approaches, all realms respond, heaven moves, the enemy trembles, your spirit stirs, your past tries to reattach itself, and destiny begins rearranging itself around your existence like light bending through a crystal. And you, child of divine purpose, are standing at the intersection of all of this energy. Even now, there are thoughts swirling in your mind that feel strangely amplified. You may find yourself wondering why certain memories have surfacing out of nowhere, why old emotions have been reopening like pages in a book you thought was finished, why you suddenly feel sensitive to people's energy, why silence feels louder, why conversations feel deeper, why signs appear more frequently, and why your intuition is louder than your logical mind. These are signals that the spiritual door is beginning to open. You are hearing echoes of your own destiny calling your name, and heaven is preparing you for a moment that will strike your path with profound significance. Within this hour, someone is approaching you with a shock that carries divine design. It is not a coincidence, not a random impulse, not a stray emotion. This person has been spiritually activated. Their inner world has been stirred. Something within them has awakened, and they may be confused about why they feel this urge, but heaven knows. Their soul knows. Their higher path knows. They have resisted long enough, delayed long enough, doubted long enough. But now the divine pressure on their heart has grown too strong to ignore. It is not their idea, it is heaven's will. This is why you might have felt nervous energy today without reason. Why your heartbeat changed rhythm out of nowhere. Why you felt like something invisible was watching you, shifting around you, preparing something behind the scenes. It is because heaven has spent days, weeks, months preparing this crossing of paths. And now the final alignment is taking shape. You are in the final minutes before the divine arrives disguised as an ordinary moment. But I must tell you something you were not ready to hear until now. This person has been carrying a truth that was too heavy for them to hold alone any longer. They have been wrestling with decisions, regrets, fears, hopes, desires, and spiritual signals they do not understand, and the weight of it has become unbearable. You do not know how many nights they thought of reaching out, You do not know how many times they almost did. You do not know how many moments they felt pulled toward you but held back because of fear, pride, confusion, or interference from their surroundings. But heaven noticed. Heaven watched. Heaven waited for the moment when the internal struggle would break open, and that moment has arrived. Do not underestimate the courage it takes for someone to approach you with vulnerable truth. Humans fear exposure. They fear rejection. They fear accountability. They fear emotional honesty because honesty requires the heart to come without armor. And this person has worn emotional armor for far too long, armor that protected them in previous chapters but now suffocates them in this one. And when heaven calls someone into alignment, their armor begins to crack. Their defenses weaken. Their intuition becomes louder than their fear. Their destiny becomes louder than their excuses. Their soul begins pulling them toward what they ran from. You must be ready, because what they bring to you will not be surface level. It will not be a casual conversation. It will not be something they rehearse to sound perfect. It will come with weight, with tension, with divine timing, with the tremble of truth, with the trembling of destiny itself. You will feel it as soon as it reaches you. The air will change. Your senses will heighten. Your spirit will pause as if remembering something from a life you cannot recall. Your intuition will whisper, "This is the moment." And now I must reveal something even deeper. This shock is connected to a prayer you forgot you prayed. There was a moment, perhaps long ago, perhaps recently, when you were overwhelmed, exhausted, worn down by life, and you whispered something to God with a trembling voice. Maybe you asked for clarity. Maybe you asked for release. Maybe you asked for truth. Maybe you asked for a sign. Maybe you asked for healing. Maybe you asked for connection. Maybe you asked for an answer. Heaven heard that quiet plea. Heaven did not ignore it. Heaven never ignores a sincere cry from a wounded heart. And this moment, this surprise arriving within the hour, is heaven's response to that forgotten prayer. But understand this. Blessings that carry destiny also carry responsibility. Heaven does not send life-changing moments to those who are spiritually asleep. Heaven awakens you first. And that is why your energy has been fluctuating. Why your dreams have been strange. Why you feel restless at night. Why your reactions are sharper. Why your awareness has expanded. Why certain people suddenly irritate your spirit. Why certain people feel distant, even if nothing is wrong. Why you feel emotionally heavier yet spiritually more alert. It is preparation. You may have noticed that lately, you've been separating from old patterns without trying. You've been distancing from people who drain you. You've been craving solitude. You've been uninterested in meaningless conversations. You've been uninterested in shallow connections. You've been uninterested in repeating your old emotional cycles. This is because heaven has been cleansing your spirit, making room inside you for what is about to arrive. Nothing about your recent emotional state has been random. Your exhaustion has been divine exhaustion, the kind that precedes elevation. Your loneliness has been divine separation, the kind that precedes connection. Your confusion has been divine disruption, the kind that precedes revelation. Your stillness has been divine silence, the kind that precedes intervention. And now heaven is sending the first wave of that intervention through someone who carries a message you were meant to receive. They are coming toward you with a heart full of spiritual urgency. For some, this will be someone from the past delivering unfinished truth. For others, this will be someone new stepping into your timeline at the exact predestined moment. For some, this will be a revelation. For others, a correction. For others, a confession. For others, an opportunity. Whatever form it takes, it will shift your emotional landscape instantly. But listen carefully, not everyone around you will celebrate this moment. Some will feel threatened by your awakening. Some will feel jealous. Some will try to distract you. Some will sense your energy rising and attempt to pull you back into the versions of yourself you have already outgrown. This is why heaven has been thinning your circle, removing the wrong people, exposing the disloyal, revealing the jealous, disconnecting the pretenders. You needed this clearing. Because if this moment had arrived while you were surrounded by the wrong energies, they would have clouded your discernment and contaminated your alignment. Divine timing does not rush. Divine timing clears the environment first. And now the environment is clear enough for truth to find you. I must also warn you, this moment may come with emotional intensity. You may feel overwhelmed by the vulnerability of it. You may experience a rush of adrenaline. You may feel your spirit heating up. You may feel tears rise unexpectedly. You may feel old wounds stirring. You may feel your soul trembling with recognition. Do not run from that. Do not silence that. Allow the energy to move through you. You are not breaking, you are releasing. You are not being shaken, you are being aligned. You are not being threatened, you are being awakened. You are not being tested in pain, you are being tested in readiness. Heaven is watching how you receive this. Not to judge you, but to guide your next steps. Your response will either open the next door or delay it. And you have waited too long, suffered too deeply, prayed too earnestly to let fear interfere now. You are ready, even if your mind doubts it. Your spirit knows. Your heart knows. Your destiny knows. Even now, there is a shift happening around you. The atmosphere is tightening. The energy is heightening. The spiritual momentum is accelerating. You are standing in a divine countdown, and heaven is preparing you for impact. The person who carries this shock is closer than you think, closer mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Something inside them broke open today. Something inside them aligned. Something inside them gave way. And now they are being guided toward you with divine force. Child of light, breathe. Calm your heart. Open your spirit. Soften your energy. And prepare yourself, because what approaches is divinely timed, divinely sent, divinely aligned, and divinely sealed. Breathe, beloved soul, because as this divine hour draws closer, the spiritual pressure around your life is becoming heavier, sharper, denser, as if the unseen realm itself is inhaling at the same time you are. I, Archangel Michael, am still standing beside you with my wings spread wide, shielding you from energies that have been trying to distract you or mislead you in this final stretch before the revelation arrives. The closer destiny comes, the louder the enemy becomes. The closer alignment approaches, the more your past tries to resurrect itself. The closer your blessing moves toward you, the more your fears try to whisper old lies. But all of this is happening because the divine moment is now only breaths away, and heaven will not allow you to miss it. You may have noticed today that time feels different, slower yet faster, heavier yet strangely weightless. This is not in your imagination. This is the spiritual atmosphere shifting to match what is about to unfold. When a timeline changes, when a destiny point approaches, when a divine encounter draws near, the physical world feels like it is rearranging itself around the incoming moment. You feel it in your nerves, in your heart, in your energy. It is the sensation of the unseen pressing against the seen. And you, even without realizing it fully, have entered a sacred countdown. The person who is about to shock you with what they bring is not coming lightly, and you must understand that. They have been at war within themselves. Their heart and mind have been fighting. Their spirit has been restless. They have been pulled toward you with a pressure that does not feel natural to them because it is not. It is supernatural. It is divine. It is orchestrated. They have tried to resist. They have tried to dismiss it. They have tried to silence the urging inside them, but heaven has not allowed them to escape the call placed on their connection to you. There is something inside them that has cracked open, something they can no longer hold back, something they can no longer deny, something they must bring to you even if their voice shakes, even if their heart trembles. And heaven is guiding them step by step, thought by thought, breath by breath, closer to the moment where truth will meet truth, where hidden things will come to light, where destiny will pass through the thin veil separating you. And you, beloved, must be prepared to receive this without letting old pain distort your perception. You have been hurt before. You have been betrayed. You have been overlooked. You have been misunderstood. You have been dismissed. You have been judged. And because of that, your heart has developed spiritual scars that sometimes interfere with your ability to trust the divine when it moves through human vessels. But hear me, this moment is not a repeat of your past. This is not a punishment. This is not a trap. This is not a test meant to break you. This is a divine correction. A divine revelation. A divine alignment. This is a moment meant to release you, elevate you, and shift you. You do not need to fear what is coming. You only need to be aware. The surprise approaching you will require your presence. Not your numbness. Not your defensiveness. Not your walls. Not your panic. Your presence. Because heaven can send the blessing, but only you can receive it. Heaven can orchestrate the moment, but only you can respond to it correctly. And now I must reveal a truth that you have felt but could not name. The energy of this person has been intertwined with your journey for longer than you understand. Even if you barely know them, even if you thought their chapter in your life was small or closed, even if you didn't expect anything from them, their connection to you has been spiritually alive. Heaven saw their role even when you could not. Their purpose is not accidental. Their timing is not accidental. Their return, or their arrival, is not accidental. Their message is not accidental. Their feelings, confessions, opportunities, warnings, truths, whatever form this surprise takes, have been developing inside them under divine pressure. You are not the only one heaven has been preparing. You are not the only one who has been receiving signs. You are not the only one who has been sensing something shifting. This person has also been feeling you energetically, even if they don't have the words for it. They may not have spiritual vocabulary. They may not understand angelic guidance. They may not be consciously aware of divine timing. But they feel something pulling them toward you in a way they can no longer ignore. Their spirit knows your spirit. Their path knows your path. Their energy remembers yours. Do not underestimate the magnitude of that. You will be tempted, when the shock arrives, to interpret it with old wounds. To assume you're being played. To assume nothing good is real. To assume everything is temporary. But this moment will ask you to listen with your soul, not your pain. Your soul can recognize divine timing even when your mind cannot. Your soul can recognize destiny even when fear tries to blind you. Your soul can recognize truth even when trauma tries to silence it. Your soul is older than your body, wiser than your logic, stronger than your fear, and more aligned than your past. Your soul has been walking toward this moment long before this lifetime, long before your memories, long before your heartbreaks. And the reason this message is awakening something deep inside you is because this is not new, this is remembered. You are not stepping into something unfamiliar. You are stepping into something destined. And now, you must also understand why the spiritual warfare around you has been intense recently. There are forces that do not want this moment to reach you. Forces that benefited from your confusion. Forces that thrived in your loneliness. Forces that whispered lies to your heart to keep you from stepping into your next level. Forces that planted fear, doubt, insecurity, and mistrust into your energy so that you would reject what heaven is sending. But the enemy cannot stop what is already activated. You may feel tired. You may feel drained. You may feel emotionally fragile. But these sensations are the result of spiritual warfare, not personal weakness. You have been fighting battles in the unseen, battles in your dreams, battles in your intuition, battles in your thoughts, battles in your energy. And you have survived every one of those battles because heaven has been shielding you even when you didn't feel protected. And now, with divine seriousness, I tell you this, the surprise approaching you is tied to your next breakthrough. It is not just emotional. It is not just relational. It is not just personal. It is spiritual. It is connected to something greater than you realize. It will open doors inside you that have been locked. It will heal wounds you forgot you had. It will shift how you see yourself. It will alter the direction of your path. It will reconnect you with parts of your identity that have been buried under pain or disappointment. You may cry when it happens. You may shake. You may feel heat or chills. You may feel dizzy or breathless. This is normal when destiny touches your timeline. Divine energy changes the body. It changes the nervous system. It changes the emotional field. It changes the spiritual frequency. You will feel the difference. And the person coming toward you will also feel it. They are not coming calmly. They are coming with trembling hands, a trembling heart, a trembling spirit. They feel the urgency even if they cannot explain it. They feel the responsibility even if they do not understand it. They feel the pressure even if they cannot name it. Heaven is weighing on them heavily because their role in this moment is not optional. Their soul feels compelled to move, to speak, to reveal, to correct, to confess, to open the door heaven has been pushing them toward. And now, beloved soul, I must warn you with the full authority of my wings, do not let pride speak for you. Do not let old bitterness rise inside you. Do not let anger answer. Do not let sarcasm protect you. Do not let fear shut you down. These emotional shields are understandable, but they are not aligned with what heaven is trying to deliver. Write, your word is my everlasting truth, Lord, if you stand firm on Scripture's promise.